What if the most powerful technology on Earth wasn't built in a lab? What if it was grown in the soil, thousands of years before the first pharmaceutical company ever existed? We are taught to believe that human health started with a prescription pad. But for 99% of our history, we didn't have drugs. We had signals, highly complex biological commands found in the roots, leaves, and seeds of the earth. Today, much of this knowledge has been systematically forgotten. Not because it didn't work, but because you can't patent a wild weed. Stay with me. Because number 14 on this list was once so powerful, it was traded for its weight in gold. And number 1 is a common plant you've likely walked over 1,000 times, unaware that it contains a molecular code for systemic repair that modern science is only just beginning to decode. Let's open the lost pharmacy. Number 1, turmeric, the inflammation killer. In the modern world, we are taught to view aging as a series of isolated failures. But in the lost pharmacy, practitioners understood a deeper truth. Aging is a slow, smoldering fire. Today, science calls this inflammaging. It is the chronic, low-grade inflammatory signal that silently melts away your joints, stiffens your arteries, and degrades your DNA. Turmeric is the ancient world's primary fire extinguisher. The secret isn't just the color. It's a group of bioactive compounds called curcuminoids, led by the master molecule curcumin. This isn't a simple vitamin. Curcumin is a molecular switch. It targets the NF-κB pathway, the master command center for the body's inflammatory response. While modern drugs often block a single enzyme, turmeric's code works at a genomic level, signaling your cells to turn off the alarm that leads to tissue destruction. But there is a tactical requirement for this signal to work: bioavailability. On its own, curcumin is difficult for the body to absorb. Ancient systems solved this by pairing it with fats or piperine, found in black pepper, which increases absorption by 20%. When properly activated, turmeric prevents the internal rusting that turns flexible tissues into rigid obstacles. It ensures that your biological rivers, your blood, and lymph remain cool and fluid. It is the first layer of the lost pharmacy, because before you can build, you must stop the burn. Number 2, black seed oil, the systemic regulator. Found in the tomb of Tutankhamun and referenced for millennia as a cure for everything but death, black seed oil, Nigella sativa, is the ultimate stabilizer of the human system. Most people view the immune system as a simple shield, either it's up or it's down. But aging is often defined by an immune system that has become chaotic, attacking the body's own tissues while ignoring actual threats. Black seed oil is the code that restores biological order. The tactical power of this oil lies in thymoquinone. This rare compound is a master immunomodulator. It doesn't just boost your defenses, it educates them. It signals the body to suppress the friendly fire of autoimmune responses while simultaneously sharpening the detection of external pathogens. It acts as a systemic filter, clearing out the toxic debris that causes metabolic fog. But its most critical role in longevity is vascular protection. Black seed oil signals the blood vessels to maintain their elasticity, preventing the hardening that leads to cardiovascular collapse. By regulating the lipid profile and stabilizing blood sugar signals, it ensures that your internal environment remains a high-performance zone rather than a stagnant pool of metabolic waste. In the lost pharmacy, black seed oil is the governor of the system, the regulatory force that ensures no single part of your biology runs out of control and destroys the whole. Number 3, elderberry, the antiviral firewall. In a world defined by invisible threats, elderberry is the ancient world's most sophisticated defense protocol. While most people wait until they are sick to react, the lost pharmacy utilized elderberry as a proactive barrier. Most of what we call aging is actually the cumulative result of viral and bacterial micro-insults that slowly degrade our cellular hardware over decades. Elderberry is the signal that prevents the breach. The power of the elderberry lies in its concentrated anthocyanins, the deep purple pigments that serve as more than just antioxidants. Modern research has revealed a tactical mechanism. Elderberry compounds can physically bind to the viral spikes that pathogens use to unlock and enter human cells. It doesn't just fight the invader, it changes the lock. By coating your cells in this biological armor, It prevents foreign code from hijacking your DNA to replicate. But its real secret is cytokine modulation. When your body detects a threat, it often overreacts, creating a cytokine storm that causes massive collateral damage to your own lungs and tissues. Elderberry acts as a biological negotiator, signaling the immune system to respond with precision rather than panic. It keeps the inflammatory response localized and efficient, preventing the systemic overheat that ages the body during every bout of illness. It is your antiviral firewall, ensuring that external infections don't leave permanent scars on your internal architecture. Number 4. Ginkgo biloba, the neural chipset. Ginkgo biloba is a living fossil, a plant that has remained unchanged for over 200 million years, surviving even the cataclysm of the Hiroshima blast. In the Lost Pharmacy, this resilience is translated into a specialized command for the human brain. Aging is fundamentally a failure of delivery. As we grow older, the micropipes that feed our neurons begin to narrow and stiffen. Ginkgo biloba is the signal that forces these channels back open. The tactical strength of ginkgo lies in terpene lactones and flavone glycosides. These compounds function as a neural chipset, optimizing the way your brain processes biological data. They work by inhibiting platelet-activating factors, effectively thinning the sludge in your blood without the side effects of synthetic drugs. This increases cerebral blood flow, ensuring that the command center is flooded with the oxygen and glucose it needs to maintain high-speed processing. But its most critical role in longevity is mitochondrial protection. Your neurons are the most energy-hungry cells in your body. When their power plants fail, memory and focus vanish. Ginkgo signals the mitochondria to stay online, neutralizing the oxidative stress that leads to cognitive brownouts. By maintaining the integrity of the vascular walls and protecting the neural pathways from stagnation, ginkgo ensures your brain doesn't just survive the years it remains, a high-frequency processor. It is the code for cognitive continuity, proving that mental decay is not an inevitability, but a failure of circulation. Number 5. Holy basil, the cortisol breaker. In the traditional systems of the East, holy basil, or times tulsi, is known as the incomparable one. In the modern era, we recognize it as the ultimate cortisol breaker. Most people age prematurely, not because of time, but because of a stress-induced decay. When your body remains in a chronic state of high alert, it releases a constant stream of cortisol, a hormone that, in high doses, literally melts away your muscle tissue, thins your skin, and shrinks the memory centers of your brain. The power of tulsi lies in its ursulic acid and eugenol. These compounds act as biological thermostats for your adrenal system. They don't just mask the feeling of stress, they chemically interrupt the signal. When your system is flooded with anxiety, tulsi signals the adrenals to stand down, lowering the baseline of circulating cortisol and shifting the body from a catabolic state, breaking down, to an anabolic repair state, building up. But the real tactical edge of holy basil is its impact on metabolic resilience. Chronic stress causes spikes in blood sugar that caramelize your proteins, a process that leads to wrinkles and stiff joints. Tulsi stabilizes these signals, protecting your biological infrastructure from the corrosive effects of a high-pressure life. It is the neurological anchor of the Lost Pharmacy, ensuring that while the world around you remains chaotic, your internal system remains calm, structured, and immune to the burnout that defines the aging process. Number 6. Nettle, the mineral infusion. Often dismissed as a painful weed or a sign of neglect, nettle, Urtica dioica, is actually one of the most potent bionutrient signals in the Lost Pharmacy. Most people age prematurely because their bodies are mining their own structures, leaching minerals from bones and tissues just to keep the blood pH stable. Nettle is the countermeasure. It is a massive infusion of the raw data required to maintain your biological scaffolding. The tactical advantage of nettle lies in its incredible mineral density. It is a hyperaccumulator of bioavailable iron, magnesium, calcium, and silica. While modern supplements are often synthetic isolates that the body fails to recognize, nettle provides these minerals in a complex organic matrix that the system can immediately deploy. Silica, in particular, is the biological glue that reinforces your collagen, ensuring that your skin, hair, and connective tissues remain elastic and resilient rather than brittle and prone to failure. But nettle's secret weapon is its role as a metabolic filter. It is a natural diuretic that signals the kidneys to flush out uric acid and other metabolic trash that settles in the joints, causing the stiffness we associate with old age. By purifying the blood and simultaneously saturating the cells with essential minerals, nettle ensures that your internal architecture is both clean and reinforced. It is the foundation signal, the proof that true longevity isn't about complex chemicals, but about giving the body the primitive, mineral-rich code it needs to keep itself upright and intact. Number 7. Reishi, the immortality coder. In the Lost Pharmacy, Reishi is the crown jewel, the mushroom of immortality. For over 2 millennia, it was reserved for royalty, not because it cured a specific disease, but because it provided a master command for the entire human organism. In the language of modern longevity, Reishi is the ultimate parasympathetic trigger. Aging is accelerated by a nervous system that is stuck in a state of high-frequency noise. Reishi is the signal that restores deep silence. The tactical power of Reishi lies in its triterpenes and beta-glucans. These compounds act as neurological coders, signaling the brain to shift from the sympathetic fight or flight state into the parasympathetic rest and digest state. This isn't just relaxation, it is a biological requirement for repair. When you are in a state of stress, your body stops repairing its DNA and recycling damaged proteins. Reishi forces the system back into maintenance mode, allowing for the deep cellular cleanup that prevents the accumulation of biological errors. But the real secret is its impact on hormonal equilibrium. Reishi modulates the endocrine system, ensuring that your body's chemical messengers aren't screaming at each other, but communicating with precision. By protecting the liver and purifying the blood, it ensures that your internal environment remains pristine. It is the immortal code, because it teaches the body that the key to lasting forever isn't constant action, it is the ability to return to a state of perfect, undisturbed balance. It is the bridge between a chaotic life and a resilient, long-lasting biological system. Number 8. Lion's Mane, the neural architect. While most remedies on this list focus on protecting what you already have, lion's mane is unique. It is a command for expansion. In the Lost Pharmacy, this shaggy white fungus was recognized for its ability to clear the fog of the mind. In the language of modern neurobiology, it is the only known substance that acts as a neural architect, signaling the body to physically rebuild its own cognitive hardware. The tactical secret of lion's mane lies in 2 specific classes of compounds, hericenones and erinacines. These are small enough to cross the blood-brain barrier, where they trigger the production of nerve growth factor, NGF. Think of NGF as the biological blueprint for your brain. It signals your neurons to repair damaged connections and, more importantly, to grow new ones. This process, known as neurogenesis, was once thought to be impossible after childhood. Lion's mane proves that the brain's code can be rewritten at any age. But the real power of this architect is myelin repair. Myelin is the insulation on your neural wiring that ensures signals travel at high speeds. As we age, this insulation thins, leading to leaky signals, slower reaction times, and memory gaps. Lion's mane signals the system to reinforce this insulation, restoring the signal velocity of your youth. It is the difference between a brain that is slowly glitching out and one that is constantly upgrading its own circuitry. It is the ultimate tool for cognitive sovereignty, ensuring that your mind remains as sharp and fast as the day you were born. Number 9. Comfrey, the bone knitter. In the Lost Pharmacy, comfrey was known by a visceral, functional name, knitbone. It was the ancient world's premier structural engineer. While most health strategies focus on the soft tissues, comfrey addresses the biological frame, the bones, tendons, and ligaments that hold your entire system together. Most people think that once these structures are damaged or worn down by age, they stay that way. Comfrey is the signal that proves otherwise. The tactical strength of comfrey comes from a potent cell proliferant called allantoin. This isn't just a nutrient. It is a growth command. When applied to a site of injury or wear, allantoin signals the surrounding cells to accelerate their division and repair. It literally knits the tissue back together, forcing the body to prioritize the reconstruction of connective fibers and bone matrix. It acts as a biological catalyst, shortening the time required for the body to recover from structural shocks. But there is a critical protocol for this power. Comfrey is traditionally used topically. Its signals are so strong that it was feared it would knit a wound shut before the infection inside was cleared. This is the signal of rapid reconstruction. By reinforcing the integrity of your scaffolding, comfrey ensures that your body doesn't become a collapsing structure as you age. It keeps the frame flexible, the joints reinforced, and the bones resilient. It is the code for structural longevity, ensuring that your physical foundation can support the high-performance biology you are building. Number 10. Mullein, the breath of life. In the Lost Pharmacy, mullein was the master of the first gate. For millennia, it was recognized as the ultimate protector of the respiratory system, the gateway through which we draw the oxygen that fuels every single chemical reaction in the body. In the modern world, your lungs are under a constant state of biochemical siege, from pollution, microplastics, and pathogens. Mullein is the biological filter that clears the debris. The tactical strength of mullein lies in its saponins. These act as a natural, biological detergent for your lungs and bronchial tubes. Most people age prematurely because their cellular respiration is choked. Their lungs are coated in a layer of hardened mucus and environmental toxins that prevent the efficient transfer of oxygen into the blood. Mullein signals the system to liquefy and expel this waste. It is an expectoration protocol that restores the full surface area of your lungs, ensuring that every breath delivers a maximum oxygen signal to your mitochondria. But its power isn't just in clearing waste, it is also a demulcent. It provides a soothing, protective coating to the delicate air sacs, alveoli, reducing the chronic inflammation that leads to tissue scarring. By keeping the respiratory tissue soft and elastic, mullein ensures that your internal ventilation doesn't stiffen as you age. It is the code for vital capacity, proving that longevity begins with the ability to draw in the world around you, process it, and breathe it back out with zero friction. It is the foundation of the system, because the faster your breath fails, the faster your biology shuts down. Number 11. Ashwagandha, the adaptation anchor. In the ancient Sanskrit tradition, ashwagandha means the smell of a horse, referring not just to its unique scent, but to the promise of equine strength it grants its user. In the Lost Pharmacy, it was the ultimate tool for biological resilience. Most people don't die of old age. They die from the inability to adapt to the friction of existence. Ashwagandha is the adaptation anchor, the signal that keeps your biology centered when the world is trying to pull it apart. The tactical power of ashwagandha lies in a group of steroidal lactones called wythanolides. These function as HPA axis regulators. Your hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis is the command and control center for your stress response. When you are under fire, this axis triggers a cascade that burns through your energy reserves and melts your muscle tissue. Ashwagandha acts as a biological shock absorber, signaling the brain to dampen the alarm. It prevents the systemic overheat by lowering the baseline of cortisol, keeping your body in an anabolic building state even under extreme pressure. But its most critical role in longevity is neuroprotection. Ashwagandha signals the neurons to resist the excitotoxicity caused by modern overstimulation. It keeps the circuits from frying, ensuring that your nervous system remains cool and stable. By anchoring your biological response to stress, it prevents the chronic wear and tear that leads to rapid aging. It is the code for equilibrium, ensuring that you don't just survive the storm, you remain unmoved by it. Number 12. Chaga, the DNA bodyguard. In the Lost Pharmacy, chaga is known as the gift from God, or the king of herbs. Growing as a dark, charred-looking mass on the bark of birch trees in the freezing northern wilderness, it is a biological survivor. It is adapted to the most brutal environmental stressors on Earth, and it passes that survival code to you. If your body is a high-performance machine, chaga is the lead shielding that protects your most precious asset, your DNA. The tactical power of chaga lies in its unprecedented ORAC score, antioxidant capacity. It contains massive concentrations of superoxide dismutase, SOD, and melanin. While most antioxidants handle surface-level noise, chaga's compounds act as a DNA bodyguard, absorbing the impact of environmental radiation, heavy metals, and free radicals before they can reach your genetic core. It prevents the transcription errors, the tiny glitches in your cellular code that accumulate over decades and manifest as cancer or rapid systemic decay. But its true black ops secret is betulinic acid, which it leaches directly from the birch tree and concentrates into a bioavailable form. This compound signals the body to identify and eliminate zombie cells, damaged cells that refuse to die and instead pump out inflammatory signals that age the surrounding tissue. By purging these biological traitors and shielding your genetic blueprint, chaga ensures that your cellular replication remains pristine. It is the code for genomic integrity, acting as the silent sentinel that watches over your blueprint while the world tries to corrupt it. Number 13. Artemisia, wormwood, the microbiome purge. In the Lost Pharmacy, Artemisia, or wormwood, was known as the biological cleaver, long before modern medicine mapped the complexities of the microbiome. Ancient healers understood that the body could be hijacked by biological squatters. We now know that aging is often accelerated by gut dysbiosis, a state where opportunistic pathogens siphon off your nutrients and leak toxins into your bloodstream. Artemisia is the heavy artillery sent in to reclaim your internal sovereignty. The tactical power of wormwood lies in its aggressive compounds, thujone and artemisinin. These aren't just nutrients, they are search and destroy signals. They target the protective membranes of parasites, fungi, and harmful bacteria, causing them to lose their grip on your system. It is a systemic purge that clears the molecular sludge from your digestive tract, ensuring that your internal terrain isn't a breeding ground for decay. But the real black ops function of Artemisia is its effect on bile flow. By triggering the release of concentrated bile from the gallbladder, it forces a deep flush of the liver and intestines. This doesn't just detoxify, it recalibrates the environment, making it inhospitable for invaders while clearing the path for nutrient absorption. In the hierarchy of longevity, Artemisia is the enforcer. It is the first step in the protocol. You cannot build a new, high-performance system until you have cleared the ruins and the parasitic code of the old one. It is the ritual of purification that allows your biology to finally breathe. Number 14. Silphium, the extinct master key. In the Lost Pharmacy, silphium represents the ultimate biological mystery and a warning. It was a plant so powerful that the Romans literally traded it for its weight in gold, storing it in the imperial treasury alongside the empire's wealth. It was depicted on their coins because it was the ancient world's master key to human resilience. And then it vanished. It is the only plant in history known to have been eaten into extinction because its signals were too effective to be ignored. Ancient records describe silphium as a panacea, a compound that could regulate the vascular and endocrine systems with surgical precision. It was the primary signal used to treat congested systems, thinning the blood and clearing the arteries long before we understood the mechanics of cholesterol or blood pressure. It acted as a hormonal governor, used by both men and women to maintain reproductive health and metabolic fire. But its true significance in our list is the extinction lesson. Silphium was a wild harvested miracle that refused to be cultivated. When the Roman demand exceeded the Earth's supply, the signal was lost forever. Today, we search for its chemical cousins like times asafoetida times to try and reclaim even a fraction of that lost potency. Silphium is the biological warning at the end of our journey. It proves that nature produces master codes that modern labs still cannot replicate. It reminds us that once a specialized biological signal is erased from the earth, the human body must work twice as hard to find that same balance. It is the ghost in the Lost Pharmacy, representing the peak of ancient pharmacological wisdom. Number 15. Pine Pollen, the androgenic gold. We reach the final entry in the Lost Pharmacy, and it is the most aggressive. In the ancient traditions of Asia, pine pollen was known as the sparks of life. While every other remedy on this list focuses on repair, defense, or regulation, pine pollen is a direct command for power. As we age, our biological drive begins to flicker. Our hormonal signals weaken, leading to muscle loss, cognitive slowing, and a fading of the vital spark. Pine pollen is the androgenic gold that reignites the engine. The tactical secret of pine pollen is that it is one of the only substances in the natural world to contain bioidentical phytoandrogens. This includes direct concentrations of testosterone, DHEA, and androsterone. Unlike synthetic hormones that shut down your body's natural production, pine pollen provides the raw hormonal data to wake your endocrine system up. It signals the body to move out of the storage and decay phase and back into the performance and vitality phase. But its true strength lies in its nutrient density. It contains over 200 bioactive compounds, including all 8 essential amino acids and a massive array of enzymes. It is a biological supersignal that reinforces the blood, increases superoxide dismutase, SOD, levels, and restores the androgen to estrogen ratio that defines the prime of your life. In the Lost Pharmacy protocol, pine pollen is the apex signal. It is the final piece of the puzzle. Once the inflammation is killed, the gut is purged, and the DNA is guarded, you use the androgenic gold to drive the system forward. It is the proof that you are not just surviving, you are reclaiming your sovereignty. You've just seen what most people will never be told. This isn't alternative medicine. This is the system your body was built to respond to. So now I want to ask you, which one of these surprised you the most? Type it in the comments. And if you made it this far, you're not here by accident. Subscribe because the next video will go even deeper into the signals that control your biology. Stay sharp, stay aware, and remember, your body isn't aging. It's responding.